series that has kind of gone on for quite some time, honestly. So yeah, anyways, inevitably we end up killing Goto, um, and none of us, in fact, get infected by his were-rat disease, his lycanthropic, um, transmitted disease of nastiness. And I believe there's actually another disease that carries over from were-rats called fifth fever, and that's a nasty bit of business too. That's not good. That comes from getting bitten by like rats, mostly dire rats, and of course were-rats too are also carriers of it. And it's mostly because, well, they're fucking rats. They carry disease. Not a fun time contracting something from a were-rat. And especially if you're running the risk of becoming a were-rat yourself. Yeah, no, never good. So anyways, after we kill Gato, we've pretty much cleared the whole fucking place out, you know? And we try and look for a way out. Maybe if there's like a switch or something nearby. None of us get the fucking roll on this fucking thing. You know, and we're at it for a few hours. Eventually we're like, well, we got food and supplies down here. How about you say we just, spend the night here and, fucking try at it again in the morning. Because, we weren't too sure what all they were digging for, but we got to where Goto was, and it was seemingly kind of like the end of the road there, and didn't seem like they had dug up really much of anything of note, like it was an ongoing venture that wasn't really getting them anywhere. So we spend the night. Surprisingly, nothing happens, but it does give us an excuse to like kind of hang out for a bit and role play with our characters and kind of get to know one another a bit better as far as this whole party goes. And it was a nice break, and we learned a lot of backstory about each other and where we all kind of came from, and kind of each other's quirks and stuff. And we all found like ale and stuff that they had stored, and getting drunk and having a good time. We partied hard that night, or we had conquered the day. And needless to say, we all kind of woke up with like hangovers and stuff, and like, okay, well, I guess try at it again. We're all looking around and we're not getting anywhere. So eventually David's like, okay, well, you know what? You actually hear the stone tablet from where you are all the way up right to the top actually turning open, right? And we're like, oh shit. And so we all grab our stuff, ones who haven't, and we all get back together and stop lollygagging around and stuff. I do believe that Tullum and Mac were going around and disabling what traps were left while we were searching. Very smart idea. But yeah, we all spent a good period of time searching for a switch or something that would inevitably open that door and lead us out, but never really happened. And so we get up to the top, and we're like, okay, so who's coming through, right? Like we're getting ourselves ready, like, who's coming through this door? Like, there are more of these fucking of their buddies or something that were out, hunting or something, grabbing food. What the fuck's going on? And he's like, all right, it opens up all the way, and you are greeted by Hermes. Like, Hermes, that's it? Yep. And David's like, it would appear, Edwin, that your donkey has figured out a way to work the switch on the opposite side and release you all. Or find the backup switch. You know? And we're like, oh, like, of course it's the donkey, like, just this, of course. We're all like, oh, thank you, Hermes, and we're all kind of like petting him on the way out and shit, and, good job, don't want to admit still that the smartest person in our group is an NPC donkey named Hermes. It's just so fucking weird. Kind of a little bit, yeah, and kind of a little bit of a downer at the brains of the operation, just in general. So, with that, we inevitably head back down the mountain. We go by the cabin to see Edgar's home. We go into his house and stuff, and we start looking around. He's nowhere to be found, and David's like, oh yeah, my guy, he's just kind of like looking on the books on the shelf, and he kind of sees something that strikes his eye a bit. Like, oh yeah, what's that? And he's like, Edgar appears to have multiple books on lycanthropy. That's weird. Did he know about Godo or something like that? Was he hunting fucking were-rat the whole time? Is the mountain lion story kind of bullshit? Like, that's what I was thinking, I was like, is this dude, like, vigilanting it up in the middle of the night against these bandits or something? And we actually learn a lot about lycanthropy. David actually has the actual, like, definition from the book, like, written down, and he starts to read it off as, as Mac, his character. And I learn a lot about lycanthropy in D&D. Like, for instance, it's not about what bites you, but what animal, in fact, that you are looking at as you are imprinting, or the disease is imprinting itself upon that sort of symbolism of transformation. So, you get bitten by a were-rat. Like, let's say if Mac were to get bitten by, Gato, and he fell to the ground, and the last thing he saw was his dog, he might be more inclined to turn into a werewolf instead of a were-rat, right? So that was something that at the time I didn't really realize. And so it was an interesting, bit of reading material. So anyways, there's that, and, we're not really thinking we're going to catch him at his cabin. And so we head back down. We use the map to find a route back down into the town / bridge, right? And they greet us and stuff, and they're all, we tell them we took care of the bandits and stuff, and they're all really fucking excited to hear that. And in fact, one of the guards actually literally fucking storms out of the office, the guard's office that we're in. He's like, they took care of the bandits, and everybody's like, yeah, woo, and they're, treating us to free shit, and, some of them actually have money that they're coming up to us, with, and they're like, thank you so much, and, the lady who owns the tavern is just, hey, free round drinks on me, and, it's a party, right? And we end up there for, like, the rest of the day, and eventually a farmer, not the same one from before, but, like, a different farmer, ends up running into town, I believe, while we're, kind of in the tavern, and, I'm kind of hitting on a tavern wench, trying to get lucky, and, you know, uh, Talim and Mac and some of the others are, like, trying to gamble with some of the stuff that they've got, from this excursion, some of the enchanted items, right? And, you know, Edwin's up here, violining the hell out of the place. He's just violining it up. And sure enough, this farmer, he barges into the tavern. He runs down the cobble street of this huge town bridge, and he barges into the tavern because it's the place with the lights on, and the partying going on, and the most people, right? He barges in, and he's like, "It's a monster! It's a monster!" And he's bleeding and shit. He's just like, "Please, you gotta help me, there's a monster!" And, he's just in this frantic panic and stuff. I'm like, "Alright, calm down, man. Where's this monster," right? He kind of guides us over the general section of wilderness that he bolted out of. And we're like, "Yeah, well, don't really want to go wandering around in the woods at night again." But at this point in time, everybody's having like kind of a good time, and the rest of the party's just like, we can handle it, come on. And they all just kind of shirk off, without me. And so I'm just like, alright, fine, wait up, Like, in fact, it's me and Hermes are the last ones to kind of get pushed over there. And, there's even this moment where me and the donkey kind of look at each other and we're like, oh, like, alright, let's go in here. And a couple of the guards go with us, because we're big town heroes. And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this, right? And so we get wandering in the woods a little bit. And sure enough, we run into the biggest problem of the whole fucking game. Sure as shit. Because for out of the woods comes a squealing, hulking monster. It is a wereboar. I shit you not. It's just like, holy fuck, and it kills the two fucking guards, and it just starts goring at us left and right, and it's like a fucking horror movie just erupted in the middle of our party, just came out of nowhere and started rampaging, and it's like foaming at the mouth, and it's fucking half crazed in its eyes, and it's snarling back and forth and trying to gore everybody. And man, is it a fight. Oh my god. This thing had some strength to it. Like, this was like a boss fight, sort of thing. And we thought that, Godo and his, like, partner in crime was, like, boss fight material. But no, this thing was just, like, we switched up the dial to hardcore mode in an instant. And it's just, like, fucking our shit up, Eventually, though, we do end up taking him down. God damn, like, Snips attacks it, and he gets knocked out, and Mac, he gets gored too, and they need medical attention by the end of this fight. Talon was actually pretty smart. She was keeping her distance. Edwin goes up there, and he tries to do, his rapier swashbuckling thing to it and trying to stab it in the sides, and he gets fucked up. He needs medical attention. Clayton gets it, and it, at the end of the fight, it's just me, Azadel, and Talim, and we're just doing whatever we can to fuck this thing up, and I'm in this thing's face, as much as I can be. I got knocked to the side pretty goddamn hard. I got